It is 6:57 p.m. I'm Maya Pasillas, your broadcaster for this beautiful Friday evening, and we are just about set for some Hornet volleyball. We are back on Tish Lovelace Court as the Oberlin face off against your Kalamazoo Hornets. Tonight is extra special as the Hornets take some time to honor their senior players. You got Rachel Meston, you got Tatum Casper, Josie Cook, and Brittany Miller. If you have been following this women's volleyball team, you have to recognize how crucial these four seniors have been to the development of this team for the past 4 years. Meston has been such an anchor for this team and someone who they put so much trust in that libero spot. I mean, if you see Meston play, I mean, she is just all over the court, and I feel like anything that gets thrown in her way, she figures out a way to just adjust mid-game and then get at it. Like, she is just a phenomenal player to watch in that libero spot. Then you have three amazing outside hitters. You got Tatum Casper, someone the Hornets can bring in to get points at any given time. You got Josie Cook, an outside hitter that they can bring in when they need someone who can bring a different approach offensively, right? While providing seniority. Like, sometimes if you're in this rut against a team and you can't get those points, you need someone different to kind of bring that spark in, and I feel like that has been Josie Cook for this Hornet team, especially this season. And then, of course, you have Brittany Miller, their current leader in kills and their leader in aces last season. Just such an amazing player to watch and someone who the Hornets have relied on for consistent point production. I mean, Brittany Miller is just phenomenal to watch. All of these seniors have been amazing to watch. I mean, I was starstruck last year as a freshman, and now I even got to see a small part of their career develop from last year to this year. There's so much changes that this team has gone through, and you can see how it has manifested on the court and just how well these seniors play and how much confidence they bring to the team. This team is playing so well. With that, I'll leave the stream for a couple minutes and hand it over to our PA announcer to give everyone the national anthem and starting lineups.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to please stand. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. And we will honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the University Athletic Center for tonight's contest between the young women of Oberlin College and your Kalamazoo College Hornets. Introducing now the players for Oberlin. Number 5, Micaiah Walker. Number 15, Kate Buddy. Number 16, Michaela Reed. Number 20, Jenna Gothier. Number 23, Alira Allen. Starters for the Oberlin starting center is a senior from Portland, Oregon. Number 3, Jillian Jensen. Starting opposite hitter is a freshman from Houston. setter, a sophomore from Martin, 5'5", number 15, Michaela Goddard. Starting outside hitter, a senior from Lombard, Illinois, 5'8", number 19, Brittany Miller. Starting middle hitter, a freshman from Kentwood, 5'8", number 23, Maya Parks. Starting the barrel for Kalamazoo is a senior from Grand Rapids, 5'4", number 4, Rachel Meston. Oberlin is coached by Jasmine Brown. Kalamazoo is under the direction of head coach Andy Phelps in her first season. Good luck to all teams!
And there you go, your favorite sound to hear as the Hornets are just about ready to face out with Oberlin College here. I mean, like I said, this is just another great one to tune in to, but when is it not? When is it not a great one to tune into when this Hornet volleyball team is playing? I can just go on and on about how amazing the seniors on this Hornet team are, but honestly, so much better to just witness it yourself. And luckily for everyone here today, you have at least 3 full sets of volleyball to do just that. And we're just waiting for everybody to get set up on the court here again. This is the senior night. A lot to celebrate, and a lot to, it's bittersweet, right? Especially if you're Coach Phelps, right? In her first season, you get connected with these seniors. You got to let them go quick. And then even more so, you got to think about the positions that you now need to fill. I mean, especially me personally, I'm just thinking about Rachel Meston and just how crucial she has been in that libero spot. Now you're facing questions on, okay, what happens from this season? Who can we trust to kind of take up that place? And, well, luckily for the Hornets, you got a lot of options, a lot of great players on the court. As your starting 5 right now, looks like you got Ava Beckler, you got Rachel Messon, libero there. You also have Michaela Goddard, and then Quanice Dillard as well. You got Josie Cook, and you have number 19, Brittany Miller. And just like that, we are off. The Yao women started out quick. Cook trying to get one. A quick set backwards into the block. No luck there. And that one sneaks in, and that's going to start it off early for Oberlin. Another quick reset here. Jillian Jensen, number 3 for Oberlin College, sends it over to the Hornet side. Josie Cook goes into the block. Meston now sets up Dillard. Dillard is going to get one. And there's even going to be a violation call before the actual point. Ashley Zoman's going to step onto the line of service for the Hornets. So crucial, a freshman playing like a senior, leading in aces, as that one's going to come back and get me. Shame on me for bringing it up. And that's going to hand it right back over to Oberlin. Mara Geiger. Ava Beckler, but that one's going to somehow make its way over. Brittany Miller's going to try, and she's going to get it done. Another point for the Hornets, done in a very, very interesting fashion, right? Something that you're never going to get tired of seeing here on Tisch Love This Court is just how these Hornets produce those points. Some more quick setup for Oberlin here as Goddard tries to set up Miller. Miller sneaks it on the line. That one's going to stay inside. Point Hornets. Brittany Miller just barely sneaking it on the line. And Oberlin's got to keep an eye on that one right there. Meston for the Hornets now as Oberlin handles it well. They just send it over. Now the Hornets are going to have a chance ball as Maya goes into the wall there. Another quick kind of misjudged ball. It's going to end on the floor. And going to hand it over to Oberlin. And possession switches again. So neither team able to hold possession for too long here as it goes back and forth both ways. Iris Archibald, the libero here, Sends it over. She's going to ace the Hornets. And that's the type of trust you're going to have in a senior. Oberlin showing kind of that seniority there. And just on the topic of senior night, I mean, Oberlin playing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seniors, it looks like. Miller, there you go. Miller's going to bring everybody. That one right there, Miller able to find the gap on the court. Tatum Casper steps onto the court for the Hornets, as well as the freshman Bella Lewis. It's going to be Lewis at service for the Hornets. Sends it over. Handled well here by Oberlin. Quick shot. Riley Peters making it look easy there. Jenna Gauthier on the court for Oberlin. Couple taps from Briley Peters as she sends it over. This one's going to get a deflection. And another ace for Oberlin College, to the credit of Briley Peters. Peters gets to do it 3 times now. This time messing with a good read on it. Lewis sets up Miller. Covered well by the Oberlin College. She's going to get a little campfire going now. A lot of unexpected moves from the Oberlin College players here as the Hornets try to find answers. It's 4-7. Hornets down as this one goes into the net, and that's going to help out a little bit.
For Kalamazoo, number 10,
Juanice Dillard steps right back on the court for the Hornets as Brittany Miller, senior outside hitter, sends it over. This one a little awkward into the block. They're going to award the point to the Yo women. All set to send it over. Miller is there on the receiving end. Lewis sets up Dillard. Dillard gets a quick one there. There you go. A nice connection from Lewis to Dillard. It was freshman to freshman. And that's how you get a point right there. Maya Parks to send it over. A little bit of help from the net to just get it over. This one's hit hard. Miller unable to handle, and that one's going to be a point for Oberlin. Sent over and handled well by the Hornets. This one's at the wall, and not much you can do to handle that one. Lucy Goebel, I mean, that one just was nice to look at, and it's going to force a timeout here for the Hornets as the Hornets are falling 6-10. Already a lot different as this Hornet team faced Oberlin College earlier this season, and it ended in a 3-0 loss for Oberlin. So this is definitely not something that the Hornets were planning to see this early on. Again, just to kind of fill you in on everything, the Hornets right now standing 1-5 in conference play. They got 1 win, 5 losses. They're 9-5 and 9-15 overall. Oberlin stats are 0-4 for conference, no wins, 4 losses, and they're 3-17 overall. So already a little bit of a mismatch in terms of statistics, but still Oberlin already playing with a different type of pizzazz, and sometimes that's just what happens when you step onto Tisch Lovelace court. Well, the Hornets are going to need a little bit of that magic to just clean it up just a tad. It does seem like their plays are happening. It just maybe some abrupt plays here and there have kind of shocked them and then got the point for Oberlin College. But overall, strong play from both teams as we're just about ready to come out of the timeout. Just waiting for the players to set up here. And there's the buzzard. Evelyn Welton for Oberlin College starts them off strong. Lewis at the net, might get beat. You got a couple of Hornets on the floor. Yeah, and that one's not going to end in their favor either. Casper trying to get there in time and able to. Still, they were able to get a good read on the ball, and that's something positive to look at if you're the Hornets right now. Welton sends it again. This time she goes into the net, and that's going to help out the Hornets again. So that's probably something that Oberlin wants to keep an eye on. It seems like when they get that point, they lose possession immediately, whether it be a mistake or a point that the Hornets get. Either way, Josie Cook steps onto the court once again, as well as Michaela Goddard. Goddard sends it over. This one, Oberlin having a little bit of trouble. They're going to have to get it over, and will. Goddard sets up Josie Cook. This one hits the ceiling. Meston in the right spot where she needs to be. Dillard. That, an attempted setter dump, was handled well. And now just a little bit of a misconnection between, I believe it was Goddard and Ava Beckler. It was the right idea, the right moves, and then just ended in a little bit of a misconnection. Still something you want to keep your eye on, as it's working out well for the Hornets to kind of keep the ball moving at a good pace. Jillian Jensen now at the net again. It's going to put them at an awkward position, yet another violation called on the Hornets and another point for Oberlin College. Taylor Stevens now steps onto the court for the Hornets. And Jensen gets another shot. And that's going to be another violation call on the Hornets. It seems like someone moved when they shouldn't have. Not sure 100% of the call there, but either way, it gives another opportunity to Jillian Jensen, senior setter out of Portland. Couple taps there. And just like that, Stevens handles it well. Goddard back to Stevens. Stevens tips. Not a lot of luck yet, as it took a diving play, but it still hit the net and then the ground. Just not working out for the Hornets right now as they try to piece together all the moving parts and make it work. Jensen again. This one makes it over. At the net, a missed touch. And that's going to help out the Hornets again.
For Kalamazoo, number 5,
Ashley Zolman back on the court. As she sends it over. Oberlin able to handle well. Zolman has to just get it over, and she will. Quick set to the outside, handled well by the Hornets. Brittany Miller trying to sneak one, and that one's just going to be a little wide. It was a good workup there for the Hornets. Another positive thing to keep in mind as they're able to build up a nice shot. Just went a little wide out of the court. Quick set to Ava Beckler down the middle. Down into the block, and that's going to work out in a Hornet point. It was Ava Beckler set up in that middle block. Aiding in the block there. As Rachel Meston takes a stab at it. More work up at the net, and that one's hit with power. You can't deny that much power. Zeynep Kaya there. Number 18 on the outside for Oberlin. Hit it with so much power. Goddard, Miller into the block. Goddard with a quick reflex. Miller's going to try it twice. This time handled well. And there you go. That's what happens with Parks is at the block. It ends up in a point for the Hornets after a good offensive run from Oberlin College. Tatum Casper steps onto the court. Lewis sends it over. Oberlin tries to attack the middle. Lewis sets up Casper. Nothing to work out there. Maya Parks with a quick touch. Miller now into the block. Meston on a knee. Casper tries to get one. And will, as the whistle gets called just a tad bit late. But it touched the ground before any Yo woman there tried to get there in time. Lewis again. Set up the outside, and that's going to work out again. Kaya goes twice. So far, Oberlin really feeding their outside hitters. You got Kaya as well as Peters, who's serving now. Getting a lot of good attempts on the court as Casper goes into the block. Quick set. Try to just tip it over. Good movement by Casper to get it over. But it's going to be another violation as Oberlin gets another point here. Peters at the line. Lewis sets up backwards. It was a little low, so they just shoved it over. Casper there on a nice attempt. Try to get it twice. Quick set to the outside. Doesn't touch the ground. That one will. And that's going to wake everybody up as Tatum Casper makes her mark on the court.
Kalamazoo number 16, Taylor Stevens.
Stevens back on the court. Now you got a pretty tall lineup for the Hornets. They can all fly at the net. Hard hit there. Meston with the dive, gonna get there in time. Casper with a tip, and there's another one for her. Looks like she palm rolled the ball. And that one hit the ground. Another great idea from Casper. Nice service here as Oberlin tries to recover. Lewis sets up Parks. Parks tried to get her own deflection there, and it ended up kind of a little bit of an awkward bounce. It's going to give a point over to Oberlin. Kaya, an outside hitter who they've been feeding quite a bit tonight in this first set. Handled well by Miller. Maya Parks goes flying, but that one's just a little off as well. Kaya's gonna get to do it twice. Handled well by Miller. Lewis to Stevens. Good defensive work, and now setting up Peters on the outside. Stevens again, no luck. Took a deflection at the net. Now Casper trying to get one. Still unable to. That one's kind of awkwardly sent over as Stevens takes a shot. They got to get this one over. They will. More back and forth as Casper tries to end it. Gets her own deflection. Stevens trying to put it into it, and it keeps going. At the block. Still able to get it over. Someone's got to hit it now. Chance ball as everybody's in a scramble. Push to the far end, and that one's going to be too long and end this little rally in the Hornets' favor. A lot of back and forth and not necessarily set up points. It was a lot of kind of unconventional movements for both sides. Parks with the service. The libero Archibald was there, but no one able to handle it after that, and that's going to end in a service ace for Parks. Parks again. Oberlin with a little bit of trouble, and they get a point of their own. Number 17, Geiger, for Oberlin with a nice idea as she palm rolls it over. Ending with a point, bringing them also closer to that set point. Welton. Miller handles it. Lewis to Beckler. Again, the wall's there, but the deflection's not. And they get 1 point closer. Walton is going to get to do it twice. Stevens. Lewis now backwards to Stevens. Stevens sneaks it in. And that one's got to be scary. So much intention behind that ball. Finds the hole in the court. Ends with a point for the Hornets as they try to crawl their way back up. Goddard for the Hornets. Meston with a diving attempt and unable to get it out. Julian Jensen with a couple bounces here as she sets up to provide service. Stevens handles well. Goddard back to Stevens. Stevens into the block. And that's going to bring this set to a close as Oberlin College comes out on top in the first set, 25-16 against the Kalamazoo Hornets. Again, I mentioned how earlier these two teams met this season, and that one ended in a 3-0 win for the Hornets. Well, already a different recipe stirring here as Oberlin College takes the first set. A lot to consider, a lot to think about. In terms of attacking errors, something I always like to look at, both teams sitting even. Service aces, Oberlin, with 3 service aces in the first set. So both teams averaging around 2 service aces per set. And right here, Oberlin College really showing that off with 3 in just this one set. Their hitting percentage is at a .222, and Kalamazoo sitting at a .081. So that's another thing to keep in mind as you kind of look over the stats yourselves. In terms of leaders in kills, you have Dillard sitting at 3, Casper sitting at 3, and Miller sitting at 3. So good point distribution for the Hornets. It's just not all working out. They started off a little shaky in that first set. You kind of see them kind of clean it up, bring it together towards the end. So I think the second set should be a lot stronger than that first one. Again, it's just those connections. You had a couple misconnections. I think it was around the middle, around the Hornet there. One notably to Ava Beckler and Maya Parks. So those got to get cleaned up a little bit. But those are all things that the Hornets already know. And I'm sure by the second set, they are going to attempt to clean that up. As for blocks, Ava Beckler has been sitting up there as well as Brittany Miller. So a lot in terms of individuality, a lot of things positively happening, but they are not cohesive yet in this first set. And they were not able to get cohesive, leading to the loss of the first set. Either way, though, they get a chance at redemption in just under a minute here as we come out of the break. And just like that, we are back. It's going to be the sophomore setter, Michaela Goddard, to start off the Hornets in this second set as they try to come back from dropping that first set. Peters tries to go and hit that outside corner. This one goes long. Goddard again for the Hornets. A little bit of a mishandle. They're going to have to send it over. They will. Goddard to Cook. Cook tries to shove it. More movement on that outside hitter area as Dillard tries to end it. This one goes long for Oberlin as well. And a little bit of a different start to this set than the first one. I mentioned how they weren't playing as cohesively that first set. Well, it's definitely something the Hornets are moving and fixing right now as Goddard is handled a little off here, and Goddard service aces. And you kind of heard me hesitated as I was talking. I was like, could it be an ace here? I didn't want to say it out loud. I didn't want to jinx it. And then you seen it there yourselves as she does it twice. As I'm talking, Goddard just really knows how to put up a show here. And just look at that Hornets sideline as that was a strike as all the Hornets take a tumble. It's going to force a quick timeout for Oberlin College, and we'll be right back in just under a minute. And just like that, we're just about set to come out of the timeout. I want to emphasize the momentum shift that has happened in just a couple of minutes here. Oberlin was riding a high after winning that first set, and just like that, the Hornets have come back from their slumber and are wide awake. I mean, just look at that sideline. Savannah Chappie making sure never to let that poster down because they truly do love their seniors. Goddard setting it off after the timeout here. And that's going to be a quick 1-2. Mara Geiger for the Yo women making a quick move there to get themselves a point. Geiger at the line of service. Meston handles it. And that one's going to go into the official stand post, and you'll even see Goddard kind of chuckle off a little bit there. When you run out of real estate, there's not much that you can do. You gotta kind of make sure you don't put your body too much out on the line, right? Geiger trying to make quick work and does. Geiger with a service ace of her own as she responds to the Hornet momentum. And that's a big task to do. I mean, even if you look at that sideline right now, in terms of players, as this one just goes a little bit long, in terms of players on the bench for both teams, you don't got a lot to pick from if you're Oberlin right now. I believe they have about 10 active players on that sideline, so there's not even a lot that you can switch out with, and you start to face those tired legs. So they're doing a phenomenal job of keeping that spirit alive and keeping their legs fresh as this one goes long for Zolman. The Hornets on the other side, though, they got a deep bench going on, and a lot of players that they can put their trust in as they switch off and on. Archibald, the libero, trying to set it off nicely. This one goes wide for her. And right back over to Rachel Meston, one of the seniors who is being honored tonight. Has done a fantastic job this season in particular with the libero spot, and she's going to get an ace. I mean, come on, you got to smile at that sideline. All their celebrations tonight have been on point. Meston tries to do it twice. A little bit of a mishandled. They got to send it over. They will. Goddard sets up Miller, and that's going to be a point. The current leader in kills, Brittany Miller, gets another one. Meston for the third time. And that one sneaks in as a service ace. I waited for the official call. I had a feeling it snuck into that back line, and it really did. Meston again, this time handled by Oberlin. But they go into the block. Some bounces still happening. And finally you get the official call. That was a point for the Hornets there. It was a little bit confusing. It was some back and forth. The Yo woman went into the block, and then from there, some type of violation or hit the ground as they try to handle another good service here. Goddard sets up Miller. Miller with a nice move, unable to get it there. More movement, and that's going to be a point for Oberlin. A lot of positive movement for the Hornets as they start to move a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper in their turns. Peters sends it over, targets Miller. Miller handles well. Cook trying to shove now. Into the block, and there you go. Josie Cook let it be known she will not be moved. Just straight power into the two hands of Josie Cook, and Cook just making it known that she is not going to move. That was brick wall movement right there. Lewis. And this one's just a little bit long. So that's going to give a chance for Oberlin to kind of breathe a little bit. How can these Yo women respond? Kaya tasked with the job of service. Meston with a nice dive there. Casper trying to sneak one. Into the back row of Peters. Zolman tried to take a dive there. It was a good effort, but that one's going to end in a Yo woman point. Kaya with another attempt. Meston with the same type of dive as Miller. Tips. Doesn't work yet. Meston with a nice save there. Miller into the gap, beats everybody out, and that's going to be a point for the Hornets. As Savannah Chappie even gritties to the point. That's that momentum I'm talking about as the Hornets get fired up. Miller trying to make something happen, goes into the block, but gets a point back for the Yo woman. Couple of movements here as Evelyn Welton hits it wide, and that's going to just hand it right back over to the Hornets. It's going to be Maya Parks at the line of service. Handled well by Oberlin. Sets up to the outside. But that one goes wide, and that's going to be another point for the Hornets. And just look how fired up these Hornets are. There's not much you can do to bring them down. Parks might get something to happen, and that one took an awkward deflection over and ended in a point for the Yo women here. The sideline a little bit confused, but it did go over. None of the Hornets able to get there in time. Quanice Dillard on the court as well. Sent over well. Ava Beckler with a nice idea. And then it goes wide from there. It's going to be another point for the Hornets.
For Kalamazoo, number 15, Michaela Goddard. Number 11, Josie Cook.
Josie Cook, Michaela Goddard back on the court. Got Brittany Miller in that back row. Meston, the libero. Ava Beckler and Dillard at the net. A good attempt by Goddard as she takes a stab at diving. Unable to get there in time. Geiger for the Yo women. Geiger sends it over well. This one's at the net. Goddard sets up Dillard. Dillard with a point of her own. She did a nice job of kind of taking a second to hesitate before she met the ball at the peak. That's something you got to look at because she would have jumped too early. Probably would have been like a misconnection and would have not ended in that point. So good thinking on Dillard's part to kind of hesitate and take that extra second. An outside attempt is blocked. Setting up Miller. Another outside attempt. This time breaks through the block, and it's going to be point for the Yo women. Both teams fired up. Archibald into the net. That one's got to hurt a little bit. Well, torches pass from libero to libero as Meston gets an attempt. This time met at the net by Maya Parks. And that's going to be a point. Quick movement by Parks to get at the net and at the right position. Geiger. Goddard, they have to send it over. They will. A good shot there, and it almost came back for Josie Cook, but it was hit too hard. As Kaya gets another one. Again, really, they've been feeding that senior outside hitter all day. Kaya getting the job done for Oberlin tonight. Peters now with an attempt. Goddard sets up Miller. They try to get the call for the deflection, but the official said no, and now Peters gets a second attempt at service. Zolman was there. Cook tries to get an attempt from that middle row. Goddard takes some time to set up Miller. Miller with a tip. And Miller with a point. Bella Lewis back on the court as well as Tatum Casper. Lewis with her attempt at service. Right at Archibald. Setting up to that outside. The block was there, but the deflection was not. As that one ends in an Oberlin point. Kaya on a really good hot streak for Oberlin College right now. Definitely someone that the Hornets are circling as of now. Received well by Meston. Lewis to set up Casper. Casper with a point as Archibald is not able to get there in time. Dillard steps right back onto the court. She's met at the net with Tatum Casper and Maya Parks. Diving attempt for Archibald. Shove. Now you got a little bit of a net match as Dillard does a nice job of getting low. Casper tries to kill. And this time, that one's going to end with a Geiger shot. Still really good flow, really good movement from this Hornet team as they're able to kind of close any gaps that they have. Not a lot of scramble since that first set. Lewis sets up Dillard. Dillard met at the net, but it's going to end in a point for her. Dillard having a really great night so far, too. Archibald there for Oberlin. Middle attempt worked out. Goebel. Lucy Goebel for Oberlin College. Let it be known she does not mess around at that Hornet logo. Jillian Jensen at the line. Miller was good on the receiving side. Beckler tries to get one. Sets up that outside. That block was good. Second attempt, and this one's wide. Another Hornet point. It was a nice idea from Oberlin College to try that attempt twice. They fed Mara Geiger, and it didn't work out that second time, even though she beat the block. Hit it with a little bit too much power. Overall, nice idea, as that's going to head into our next timeout. Hornets are up 21-17, and we'll see you in just under a minute. Goddard to start off the Hornets out of the timeout. Archibald with a nice attempt. He got a couple Hornets trying to get there. Meston's going to be able to get it over. Set up backwards to Peters. Miller was there as Dillard gets her own attempt, and that's going to be a point for Quanice Dillard. Dillard with just an amazing night right now, showing off her talent, her height, her power. Goddard again. Peters. Meston was there. Goddard to Dillard. More movement. Cook has to just shove it over and will. Outside attempt from Peters. Trying to set up Miller in that back row, and this one just a little bit long, but the idea was there, and Miller kind of knew it as soon as she hit it, that one was just going to be a tad bit long. Seen a little bit of disappointment on her face. She knows she wants that attempt back because she can get that point. Dillard doing a good job of receiving there, as that one was just a little bit mishandled. It looks like Goddard's in a little bit of discomfort as they break the as they break the block there. I was watching Michaela Goddard kind of nurse her hand a little bit and got a little choked up on my words. And this one's going to go into the net for Geiger.
For Kalamazoo, number 5, Ashley
Zolman steps onto the court, replaces Dillard. Archibald with a nice receiving attempt. Peters tries to break through. Goddard was there. Meston sets up Cook. Really good response. As Meston still shoves it over, and I got a little silent there. Had to see what happened as the block meets up. Waiting for the violation call, and they'll get it as the Hornets get another point out of that play. And just like that, you're at set point for set 2. Zolman setting up an attempt for Peters. Zolman was there again. Goddard backwards as Miller just has to push it over. Met with a block, but Archibald with a nice diving save. Goddard sets up Beckler. Beckler almost sneaks one. More movement. Goddard to Beckler again. Still nothing as that crowd wakes up. And this time they go Miller, and that's going to end it as Miller closes out the second set with a kill of her own. And you got to feel the fire, you got to feel the fury coming off of this Hornet squad as they close out the second set, 25-19. Able to come back from that first set. A little uncharacteristic for them to drop that first set, and then you felt the fire, you felt the wrath in that second set where they're able to just clean it up and play a little bit more cleanly, play a little bit more cohesively. The fluidity on the court was also something to marvel at. I mean, this is just what you want to see from this Hornet side when it comes to this second set and how you want to see them play. Well, that's a prime example of how the Hornets can look on their best day. And I just got to run it back to just a couple stats here for the second set. And hitting percentage, I talked about how that first set ended in a 0.81 for the Hornets. Well, this one, they got it up to a .231% hitting average over the Oberlin College here with a .125. That's important to keep in mind. That just means that they're making those connections. They're having that flow. They're having that team chemistry. They've settled into this second set. Well, how are they going to respond in that third set? Well, we got to wait just under 2 minutes to find out, but we'll be back right after this break. We are back for the third set, and you can still feel the fire. You can still feel the fury from the way that second set ended. If you missed it, it ended in just a rally back and forth with Brittany Miller getting the last say. And you're just excited to see how this third set kind of ends up for the Hornets and for the Yo women. Just waiting for the official whistle now. And there it is as Jillian Jensen, a senior setter for the Yo women. Dillard in the right spot. Beckler tries to attempt from the middle. Archibald sends it over. Maston with a dive and a roll. A great attempt from Rachel Messon as she takes a hard dive. I kind of had to wait to see how that one ended. I think some of the Hornets were expecting her to kind of let that one go out, as you also have the fear of running into the stands, but something about Messon is she's going to put it all out on the line. As this one's set up for Cook. That one's going to go long. And something a little bit different from that first set is you got the crowd really into it. So now you got kind of that home advantage factor playing in. Jetson is going to ace the Hornets as Meston tried to take a dive. Unable to pancake clean enough. Jetson again with a little bit of confidence under her belt. Handled well by Miller. Now to Cook. Cook palm rolls. Handled by Oberlin. Peters. Meston with a nice dig. Cook again. More back and forth as they feed the outside, but not with Miller there in the back row. And the deflection's a little awkward off of Beckler. Ending with a point for the Yo women. And you hear from the sidelines is also something I want to mention. It's important for the Hornets to go one play at a time. It can be a little bit hard when you're always anticipating the next move, but that second set I think went especially well as they lived in every moment, every play, as Dillard sneaks another one in, and Dillard is just on fire tonight. She's immediately taken off the court for Zollman. Dillard just having a phenomenal night, aiding this Hornet team in all types of ways. Zollman gets it over. Handled well by Archibald. Peters down the middle, and that's going to end in a point for her. And that's those in-game adjustments that the Hornets are working on. They've adjusted to the outside hitters. Now they got to kind of adjust to Peters going and attacking that middle section. As Miller goes and tries to sneak one, she will, unless a deflection is called, and it will be called. The Yo women sneak another one past the Hornets as the Hornets fall 6-1 in the third set. This one's out. And that's got to be, I believe, the second time for Mara Geiger. Meston with the service. That one comes right back at the top of Miller. Miller meets the ball at the summit. And it was barbecue chicken from there. I had to say it because Miller just killed that ball at the top of the peak. Now Meston's going to go into the net, but that does not kill the high coming off of Miller right now as this Hornet team comes alive. Archibald touched by Miller, so Zollman had to get it. Cook sends it over, setting up that middle roll attack, and that's a campfire. So far, Yo women responding very well to that drop on the second set. Archibald sends it over. This one's long. And that's going to help the Hornets come out of this hole. Bella Lewis and Tatum Casper on the court for the Hornets, as well as Rachel Meston, Brittany Miller, and Maya Parks. Lewis goes into the net. Back and forth movement. Meston with a diving attempt. She's unable to get there in time. Oberlin doing a really nice job of working up these points for the Yo women. Peters again at the line. It took like a diving service attempt there. Into the block, and Miller gets her own deflection. Casper right at Archibald. Sets up that outside, but the block was there, and that's got to be something. Write that down, circle that play, write down the timestamp of when that happened, because Maya Parks went flying, Miller went flying, and the block was strong. Dillard back on the court as Miller takes a chance at service. Miller goes direct to Peters. An under hit there. Handled well by Meston. Dillard now goes into the block. And the Hornets almost able to get the deflection back up, but that's going to end in a Yo women point. A little bit of movement now from that Hornet sideline. Handled well by Meston. Casper had to send it over. She will. Good attempt there by the Yo women as Dillard tries to respond. Archibald with a diving attempt. Meston with one of her own. Oh, and met at the summit there by Maya Parks, a little bit misjudged. That's going to end in a Yo women point and a timeout called as we take a minute to let everybody catch their breath. There's just a lot going on today. Not only are these Hornets representing themselves, their families, but now they're playing for their seniors tonight, and you can feel that in the way that they kind of take and make these adjustments during the game. Just a lot of positives as they move around the court, and you can see the vibes are up on both sides. I mean, momentum has been switching all day today, back and forth. You had that fiery moment from the Hornets in that second set, and I think they kind of have to tap back into that, bring that back into this play. Start getting hype over something small. Start doing extra for small points, because that's what brings up that momentum. That's what brings up those playmaking points, that ability to bounce back from an error. They got a lot going on, and it's working out for them. They just got to bring it together cohesively like they did in that second set. And that's probably what they're talking about in that huddle. Also, how can they respond to kind of the onslaught that this Yo women team has brought, kind of attacking from the outside and also the middle? They've had a really, really good job. They've done a really good job of mixing up their attacking plays. As there was the whistle coming out of the timeout. It's going to be Kaya, number 18. Been an outstanding player tonight for this Oberlin College. Dillard with an attempt right to Kaya. She handles that one. Meston, Lewis to Casper. And that's going to get a violation call and give a point to the Hornets. And it's been a lot of those type of points tonight where it's not necessarily a kill, not necessarily some type of defensive play, but it's actually been a lot of those violation calls on both sides as Parks sends this one over. And this one's going to sneak through. Evelyn Welton now at the line of service. Welton with a couple of bounces before she sends it over. Right to Dillard. Lewis sets up Casper. Casper with a palm roll. Handled well. And this one goes long. Trying to call for a tip. And they're not going to get it there as the Hornets go back up with another point. It's going to be Michaela Goddard at the line of service. How many times have I said that tonight? Goddard done a really good job there as Archibald is barely able to handle. Dillard flying. Archibald in the right spot. Peters with an attempt. Now Miller in the right spot. Dillard again. This one's going to be difficult, but they'll get it back over. Hornets with the chance ball as they go to Dillard. And this was just wide, and that was a perfectly drawn up play for Dillard. Great positioning as well as she was just set up in that middle row, just on top of that Hornet logo. It just played out perfectly, but just a little bit wide, and I think they should try that again. You feed Dillard again, especially in that spot. Have her go to those outside flanks one more time, and I think that's a point for the Hornets. This time they go direct to Dillard, and now Beckler able to just get her hands on it. Peters, Miller with a save there as Cook goes into the block, but she gets a deflection call, and that's going to be a point for Cook. Ashley Zolman, number 5 freshman for this Hornet side. Archibald, the libero, able to get there. Peters met at the summit with a block. Brittany Miller and Ava Beckler combining at that peak there. Zolman with a second attempt. This time they opt to set up that outside hitter. They get the deflection call this time, and Geiger doing a really good job tonight, kind of mixing up her hits. Now Geiger needing to provide service here. Meston handled it well. Miller tries to go with a tipped attempt. Miller able to get a deflection off the block. Cook pushes it long. Backwards set to Peters, met by a block. Sets up to Miller again. And now they're trading blocks back and forth as Peters goes direct to Goddard. And the block from Ava Beckler was there despite it going into the net. And that's going to be a point for the Hornets. Meston for the Hornets. Diving play by Zolman. Cook now. They set up that outside flank, met by the block. Still in the air, and they're able to get it over. Cook now, and this time Cook goes into the net. And even though that back and forth ended with a point for the Yo women, you gotta highlight the movement, the fluidity that the Hornets had during that time. Not necessarily a scramble. They weren't necessarily out of position, but they were flowing as a team. As Goddard sets up Parks, and Parks is gonna sneak one in. Lewis steps onto the court, as well as Casper. Lewis with a couple of bounces at the top of the court. Handled well by Archibald. They set up an attempt with Geiger. No luck with the block of Maya Parks. Setting up Miller on the outside. Archibald again. Peters palm rolls. And they set up Miller once more, and that one's gonna sneak in. Brittany Miller with another point tonight. Lewis, another attempt. Archibald handles. This one a little bit awkward, but it almost worked out for the Yo women. Miller gonna respond, and Miller's gonna end it there. Brittany Miller getting hot. Lewis trying to keep it going. She's gonna ace. Another point for the Hornets. And a Bella Lewis ace is gonna call for another timeout. As Oberlin College has to face the questions of how they adjust to when this Hornet team gets hot. We'll be back in just about a minute. It's going to be Lewis out of the timeout for the Hornets. This one goes a little bit long. Again, Yo women trying to respond to just how hot this Hornet team can get. When they start to flow, you can't stop them. So Oberlin College really just trying to break up that flow, break up kind of the momentum that this Hornet team is carrying. Casper's going to have to get it over. She will. Archibald is there. Setting up to the outside of Kaya. Kaya gets a deflection. Yeah. I was waiting for the official call there, but it was Kaya who gets the deflection as Peters now sends it over. Lewis sets up Parks down the middle. No one's going to get there as it almost makes its own exit out the door. Maya Parks making it look easy out there. And that's that luck. That's kind of that just how much success that they have down that middle, that this Hornet squad. If they start to utilize kind of that middle a little bit more. Almost getting an ace here, but not with that type of hit. Welton with a powerful one as she goes flying to meet the ball. There's that response that Oberlin College needs to have in terms of responding to the Hornets. Kaya. Meston's able to handle. Lewis sets up backwards to Casper. Casper met by the block. Dillard now found the hole, and Dillard is unstoppable. Quanice Dillard just finding all the holes on the court right now. You gotta continue to feed her. Maya Parks tries to keep the flow going. This one handled a little bit awkwardly by Oberlin. Casper breaks through, and there's no wall gonna stop that one. I just feel like the closer and closer you get to Halloween, Tatum Casper just gets fired up. Parks again. This time Archibald tried to set it clean. This one's gonna be long from Geiger. And here's that fired up I was talking about. As Parks gets another attempt at the line of service. Stays in, Peters able to get there. Sets up awkwardly. Parks at the right spot. Casper goes with a palm roll. Casper, are you serious? As everybody stands up, you gotta tip your hat to that change in play. You thought she was gonna go full power. Well, you thought wrong as Casper rolls it off the palm of her hand. And just like that, the Hornets are tied up. They were able to crawl themselves out of that hole. Can they keep it going? And that one's gonna sneak down and touch the floor. Oberlin able to respond. Keep this game going. Sent over, handled well by Dillard. Lewis sets up Beckler. Trying to get a deflection call. Waiting on the official call, and that's going to end in a Hornet point. As Ava Beckler's hit is going to have a deflection off an Oberlin player. Tied up once again. Goddard at the line of service. Goddard cleanly sends it over, setting up on the outside of God. There's the block of Josie Cook. The height, the power, unmovable. Now you got another timeout called for Oberlin College. You can only imagine what's going on in the huddles right now. I believe for the Hornets, you got to talk about how can you keep this momentum going? How can you keep this flow going? How can you continue to make these connections and just keep everything going? Right now, everything working out so well for them. As for Oberlin College, they're thinking about what type of response can we cook up. They have done really well tonight with in-game adjustments, but they need to adjust big time right now if they want to take this set. They got to break the flow of this Hornet team if they want to come out on top. Right now, if anything, the Hornets are on fire. They are on a rampage, and Oberlin College has to figure out a way to make that stop. Kind of thinking maybe can we switch up play? Can we switch up connections again? With such a short bench, it gets hard to do. So that's something that they're fighting as well. It gets hard to do to mix up the flow, mix up the tempo. They're going to have to get creative. They're going to have to throw off the Hornets. But the Hornets right now just need to continue. They need to continue to attack. You cannot step off the gas as soon as you're on it. As there's the buzzer ending the timeout. The Hornets were first out of the bubble. Oberlin still in really good spirits as momentum starts to clash with each other. Goddard is going to go long, and that's going to tie it up at 21 apiece. Jillian Jensen at the line of service for Oberlin College. These points more than ever matter. Tasked with the job of service. She gets it over cleanly. Goddard sets up Beckler. Beckler destroys it down the middle. Beckler firing up her squad, firing up the crowd, and firing up me. As that one ends in a Hornet point. Zolman trying to keep it going. A little bit of a mishandle for Oberlin, but they're able to get it over. Goddard sets up Miller. Miller sneaks it past. And you just can't find an answer for number 19, Brittany Miller, a senior who has offered so much support to this Hornet team. Zolman gets it across. Almost aces. Cook in the right spot. Goddard. Miller again. This time Geiber was there. Peters with a straight shot. Briley Peters with a straight shot, the freshman on this Oberlin side. Geiger for the Yo women as Meston's there. Goddard to Beckler. This one takes a deflection off, and that's going to get another point for the Hornets. The momentum on both sides as Oberlin tries to keep this set alive. Meston sends it over. Quick setup to Peters, and the block is there. Maya Parks, are you kidding me? Maya Parks to close out the third set, 25-22. Just soaring through the air. I mean, just everybody take a breath. Everybody take a moment to kind of realize what you just seen in that third set, the power, the poise that you just seen from this Hornet side in this third set. You got to take a moment to breathe it in and just look with your eyes what this Hornet team just did. I mean, I think everybody in the stands at one point was standing up, and everybody was realizing just how crazy this Hornet team can get when they are fired up. They got to keep this momentum going. They got to continue to push forward. You got so many leaders right now. Who other than to lead this Hornet squad in kills other than Brittany Miller herself, number 19? I mean, I just feel like her number is just a number that everybody circles when you come and play this Hornet side. You got to circle, you got to underline her name. You got to figure out a response for Brittany Miller, and that's something that you're facing. I mean, there's just so much to just nod and shake and just appreciate from this Kalamazoo side. You got Rachel Meston, the senior libero, with two service aces herself. Michaela Goddard adding to that stat with two of her own, and then Lewis sneaking one in with one of her own. I mean, in all, the Hornets, for this fourth set, they need to circle some players from this Oberlin side. You have Mara Geiger that you got to circle, leading them in kills. She has 12 kills. She has one service ace, and she's just leading the stats in general for this Oberlin side. That has to be someone that you kind of keep up an answer for. You also got Kaya, number 18 from the Oberlin side, who's also doing a really good job as an outside hitter tonight. She has 10 kills of her own. That's another person you want to circle. They've been utilizing Peters a lot in that back row, so how can you respond to that? In general, just a lot to cover for both sides, and you're going to see how this fourth set plays out in just under 50 seconds. And it's been a journey, but just like that, we are here for the fourth set. As currently, in terms of sets, the Hornets are up 2-1. And just everyone supporting everyone. I mean, Maya Parks in that block to finish it off. That was phenomenal to watch. Dillard on fire, the freshmen especially supporting their seniors tonight as we await the official whistle to start this fourth set. I'm also happy to report that the World Series has started. Game 1, Dodgers versus the Blue Jays, which, I mean, me coming from Los Angeles, you have to know I'm rooting blue. I'll probably keep you updated with that as well. Just a lot of momentum on both sides. Do not think that after that third set, Oberlin is going to go quietly, because they are fired up as Goddard starts off the fourth set. Peters, I told you, circle Peters' name. They dish it out to Peters so often. And there, right there, she sneaks a kill. Starts it off strong for Oberlin College. More movement. Dillard. That took a crazy deflection. It went back onto the Hornets side for Cook to try to finish. Still nothing. Now Cook again in the right spot. Dillard tries to finish it. Deflection is not there. More movement. Cook. Miller able to keep it inside, and now Meston shoves it over. And this one's going to be a violation call on the Hornets. Give another point off to Oberlin College. Long and wide for number 17, Geiger. Zolman with a couple of bounces. She sends it over. A little bit of help with the net. Backward set to Peters. Met by the block. Diving play by Goddard. Miller from the middle row. Set up nicely backwards again to Peters. Goddard in the right spot. Brittany Miller trying to end it. More movement, and now Meston with another attempt. Bit of a push back and forth as Goddard sets up Miller once more. This time directly at Geiger. Geiger tries to end it, and she will. Excuse me, Kaya. And I gotta emphasize, I said circle number 17 and number 18 from this Oberlin side. And it only makes sense that I'm confusing Geiger and Kaya. Both been so crucial to this Oberlin team, these young women, and how they play as Archibald sends it over. This time Beckler with a point of her own down the middle, trying to end the small run that Oberlin was carrying. Again, Kaya just really, really good on the outside as she gets set up, but this time Kaya trying to get the deflection call. And they will. Kaya able to get the deflection off the Hornets, giving a point to Oberlin College. Jenna Gothier on the court for Oberlin. Peters, straight to Zolman. Goddard sets up Miller. Peters again, met up at the wall. And this one's gonna end in a point for the Hornets.
For Kalamazoo, number 1, Bella Lewis. Number 6, Tatum Casper.
Tatum Casper steps right back onto the court, as well as Bella Lewis. The freshman tasked with keeping the momentum going. Setting up to Kaya, into the block of Casper, and Casper says no. And I had to give a moment of just silence there. That was just a beautiful block and a beautiful set-up play from Oberlin College as Lewis sends it over. Peters was there. Set up to the number 9, Evelyn Welton, as she gets the deflection and a nice play drawn up there by Oberlin College. That one goes wide for Kaya. And it feels like the score is not 5-5. And I can only attribute that to the momentum that the Hornets are showing right now. I mean, they are just showing pure fun on that sideline as some conversation from the officials break up play. You'll hear Meston on the Hornets side trying to fire up her team as Miller sends it over. A little bit of help from the net, and that one's going to fall as an ace. Brittany Ace Miller. The last season that I get to say that line, as I gave her the middle name Ace, because that's what she gives to this Hornet squad, and she'll do it again. Another ace for Miller. You write that down on her stat sheet for the night. Miller with a third attempt. This time handled well by Peters. This trying to get a response. It was Welton who went flying. Diller trying to make something happen. Welton again. Meston with an overhand save. Lewis with a backwards set up to Diller, and you'll see kind of Diller take full responsibility for that one as that one goes wide. Hands possession over to Oberlin. The old women trying to respond with some momentum of their own. As Alira Allen steps onto the court for Oberlin. A little bit of help from the net, and that's going to ace the Hornets. Evelyn Welton with an ace of her own, responding to Brittany Miller. Meston drying up the court a little bit as, again, so much effort on both sides so far tonight. I mean, there's bound to be some sweat on the floor. Welton with a second attempt. This time is gonna do it twice. And there you go. I told you Oberlin has done such a nice job in terms of in-game adjustments and responding to the Hornet side. That was a response there as Meston able to handle well. Dillard now goes with a tip. More movement as Peters is met with a block from Maya Parks. And Peters goes wide. More back and forth from both sides as this fourth set looks like it's going to remain close. It's only 8-8, so you got to take a breath. Maya Parks sends it over. This one's going to ace. Parks is starting to get fired up as well. Ever since that block at the net on that, I believe it was the third set. Parks again. This time violation call. And that's going to be a point for the Hornets. It's been a journey to get to this fourth set. The Hornets dropped that first set. They got that second set, and then they got the third. They're trying to end it with this fourth one here, but Oberlin is not going to go silently, especially with plays like that one, as Mara Geiger keeps the dreams alive. Jillian Jensen, number 3 on this Oberlin side. Handled well by Miller. Casper tries to push it over. Allen met up there. And now the number 23, Allen, who's just stepped on the court recently, gets a point of her own. Maybe you got to be careful there as Allen is really good at that net. She's already shown it twice. Jensen, Meston with a little bit of an overhand receive. Casper trying to make it go. Still nothing. Geiger trying to get there. And now Dillard's going to be set up, and Dillard's going to get another. You can't stop her. Then you got to find a way to answer. Michaela Goddard at the line of service. She gets it over. Archibald is there. More setup. Allen, it looks like they're going to start to feed her more in that middle as Dillard is get met with the block. Goddard back to Beckler. Try to call a deflection, and they'll get it. As the Hornets get another point there. Ava Beckler has quietly come onto this court and caused destruction. Peters. Meston is there. Dillard now. Josie Cook trying to end it. Geiger right to Miller. Cook now, and that one's going to go long. It's going to give up a point to Oberlin and give Oberlin a chance to kind of regain the momentum that they were carrying. Geiger sends it over, handled well. Goddard, one-hand set to Ava Beckler with the deflection. You gotta tally that one. Every time you get a chance to catch your breath, just know Ava Beckler's gonna sneak up and make you excited. I mean, come on. Got a chance to keep it in. Peters trying to get one. Not with the attempt from Meston as Miller sneaks one into the corner. Brittany Miller. You gotta, I mean, come on. That was just nasty. I don't even know how she saw the gap. And that's going to force a timeout. As we take a moment to catch our breaths, I'll see you back tuned right back in after a minute here. Well, don't look now, but we are out of the timeout. And Zolman's going to start off the Hornets. Handled. And that one goes long. That hasn't been the story for Kaya all night. Just know Kaya has done her job for this Oberlin side, garnering so many points and keeping this Oberlin side alive. As Peters, straight shot. You gotta figure out the angle for that one. If you figure out the angle for that one, you gotta let me know, because that was wild. It looked like it was just like a 90 degrees angle straight down into the court. That's hard to stop as Archibald sends it over. Goddard sets up Beckler. Zolman doing her job with the deflection, but a violation's gonna be called before that. Believe they're saying a 4-touch rule as they give up a point to Oberlin. Archibald with a second attempt. Goddard to Miller. Geiger was there. Kaya with a point. And it gets deflected into the stands. No doubt about that with the power that came off her hand. Kaya at that outside area, so influential. Archibald sends it over, handled awkwardly by the Hornets as Cook tries to sneak one, but that one's hit too hard. The libero gets to do it again. She has had her work cut out for her all night, able to respond so well to this Hornet side. And then on top of all that, she's been tasked with the job of service. Does so well here as Beckler tries to sneak one, but not with Archibald. Couple deflections to get the point. It took a while, but that's going to be a point coming off of Ava Beckler. Parks is back onto the court. Meston sends it over. Archibald with the dive. Peters on the outside. That's going to end with a point for Peters. And I told you they are going to keep it close. This Oberlin team playing like no tomorrow. As Peters keeps it alive and ties it right back up at 16 apiece. That one's going to go into the net. And now the Hornets have an opportunity.
Number 6,
Tatum Casper onto the court. Bella Lewis up for service. Lewis up and over. Archibald with a nice receive. Sets up to Kaya. And that's going to be a point for the Hornets as Kaya doesn't get the deflection she needed. But you seen a little tap on the shoulder from this Oberlin side. They know that Kaya is doing her job tonight well. As Lewis keeps it going for the Hornets. Setting up to the outside, sneaks it in. Calls a bit of a pile up as well between between Lewis and Zolman as I try to get a clear eyesight of what happened there. Kaya now with service. Meston able to respond well. Casper trying to sneak one. They set up backwards to Peters. Lewis was there, but the deflection goes wide, and that's going to be a point for Oberlin. Couple of bounces by Kaya. Kaya cleanly gets it over. Lewis sets up backwards to Casper. Not with Kaya in that back row with the deflection now. Good block, but Peters is in the back row. And they're trying to get the four-touch rule. Either way, it drops. And a point gets awarded to the Hornets to break up the 18-point tie. More and more they've been utilizing Evelyn Welton on this Oberlin side. The Yo women trying to come up with every play they can to respond to the fire this Hornet team has offered since that first set loss. Miller direct to Peters. This one goes wide for Welton. And that's going to be cause for a timeout as we take a minute break. Both teams break the huddle, and Brittany Miller looks to set it off right for the Hornets. Peters on the receiving end. They set up backwards. A shove attempt from Welton is dealt with as Diller tries to get something from that middle row. Setting up again, but this time Geiger goes into the block. Back row shove attempt from Kaya, and that's going to end in an Oberlin point. both teams can just not be stopped right now. The momentum on both sides is wild as they get an ace here. Evelyn Welton helping out Oberlin, tying it up at 20 apiece. Welton again sends it over, and this one sneaks in for a service ace. It looked like every Hornet thought that was going to go wide. Well, the call goes to Oberlin there, and that's going to keep something going for Oberlin. Maya Parks trying to make something, and that's not going to happen. The competition continues between both sides, and it's going to force a timeout call for Kalamazoo Hornets. And you got to take the timeout because now you get to this scary point, right? You got 20 for the Hornets, you got 22 for Oberlin College, and you got to figure out a way to stop the run that Oberlin is going on right now. Oberlin College all night has found some type of answer to this Hornet offense. And it's actually the Hornets that break the huddle first. They are ready to go. But Oberlin College has just done a phenomenal job of mixing up their plays and responding with good blocks and keeping this game close. They took that first set from the Hornets. They dropped the second and the third, but you got to circle the third. It was 22-25. It was real close. Well, you're in this fourth set, 22-20. This time flipped in Oberlin's possession now. There's a lot of questions to be answered for this Hornet side. How do we respond to Kaya, number 18 for this Oberlin side? How do we respond to Geiger? How do we respond to Peters? And if you're Oberlin, you're asking yourself, how do we respond to Brittany Miller? And especially, have I talked about Quanice Dillard enough tonight? Because that's someone to circle. Well, if you're Oberlin, you're asking yourself, how do we respond? Well, you're about to find out. As Casper gets a quick one out of the break. And now you know why they broke that huddle so quickly. They were ready to go. Maya Parks servicing here. Archibald able to get there in time. And it was Geiger trying to get the deflection, but it's going to end in a Hornet point. Parks again. This time, Kaya takes a dive. Kaya from the back row. Met at the wall. And there you go. Kaya and Geiger team up. Double trouble at the net. Jillian Jensen back up on the court. This time for service. Jensen gets it over cleanly. Meston. Lewis to Casper. And that's going to get a point for Oberlin. And it gets called back. Handed to the Hornets. And now a little bit of talk with the sideline official. And it's going to ask for a conversation at the net. As a little bit of back and forth between Jasmine Brown, the head coach, on her second season with Oberlin College. Conversations continue. But the crowd does not go silent. And the point gets flipped. The point gets flipped after the conversation. Oberlin College Oberlin College takes the lead, 24-22. This could end the fourth set. As a whistle gets called. More conversation, not sure what's happening. They call for a redo as the official whistle did not blow that first time. Jillian Jensen with an opportunity to end it here in the fourth set and push this one over. Dillard able to get it across. Oberlin trying to extend the game to a fifth set. Peters met by a block. Lewis sets up Casper, met by a block, still able to get it over. More movement on this Hornet side. Dillard trying to make something happen, and that one goes wide. And that's how you extend a game, as Oberlin gets that 25th point and are able to push this game into a fifth set. No doubt about it, both teams are not going silently as they continue to push and push throughout this game. Mara Geiger has been continuous for this Oberlin side. Wow, have you done your job tonight? Kaya, number 18, also doing her job very well tonight. You got it. There's just so much going on for both sides. Both sides playing so well. You know, you've heard me talk about it all night. You heard me say circle this, circle that, underline this, underline that. Well, it's just because both teams have just been on fire. Both of them carrying so much momentum. This Hornet side, after dropping that first set, able to come back, take the second and the third. But you seen that third set was close. It was 22-25 in favor of the Hornets. And now you've seen a complete roles reversed for this fourth set as Oberlin takes it 25-22. You got the fifth set to find out what happens and how this one ends. Both teams, I mean, there's not one team I can hold over the other right now. Both of them have been on fire. Both of them have gave it their all. Effort on both sides. The Hornets playing for their seniors. And Oberlin just playing crazy good right now. Well, you're going to find out in just under a minute and 30 seconds. So don't go anywhere. We'll meet you after the break. Well, I hope you took some time to drink some water, take a good little break as Peters sets off the fifth and final set. Dillard with a straight shot, but Archibald able to get there. Peters into the block. Still nothing able to happen as Beckler goes for a tip, and that's going to fall. They didn't give you much time to breathe and take that break. So I hope you took advantage of that minute and 30 seconds because it looks like both teams are ready to pick off right where they left off. Zolman sneaks it into that back line. Ashley Zolman with an ace. Ashley Zolman now bumps up her aces to 43 this season leading the Hornets. This one is handled well. Peters trying to get a deflection. Meston was there. Goddard to Miller. Miller with a shove. Still handled as Archibald goes back to Peters. Peters is long. And that's going to be a point for the Hornets. They call back Allen back up onto the court for Oberlin. And this one's going to go long for Zolman. Also, in case anybody listening cares, the Dodgers are up 1-0, game 1 of the World Series. But here, at the screens in front of you, the Hornets, Brittany Miller tries to get one. Peters, Meston was able to get there in time. Goddard back to Miller. Miller with a strong one. Brittany Miller with a point for the Hornets. If you are Oberlin College, you gotta shake hands with Archibald. Iris Archibald, the number 2, the current libero for Oberlin, because she has done her job phenomenal tonight, especially with jobs like that one right there. And then you got Kaya to finish it off. Cherry on top. Oberlin continuing the onslaught. The Hornets await the service. Goddard, you got Maya Parks up there too, but it goes to Miller, and Miller goes long. Archibald sends it over cleanly, handled by Miller. Goddard sets up Cook, and this one goes long by Cook. Archibald, great job getting out of the way there. She noticed it was going to go long, so she kind of dug down a little bit further than usual, and she was able to get out of the way before getting deflected off of. This one goes wide and long for Archibald, and now the Hornets have an opportunity to go on a run of their own. Savannah Chappie not once tonight on that sideline for the Hornets, has not once dropped that poster for the seniors. And that's got to tell you something, as Lewis has a straight shot. Peters tries to end it, but she goes a little long, and that one was the right idea, just a tad bit long. It seemed like if it had the right force on it, that one might have snuck in and gotten a point for Oberlin. As Lewis sets up again, Peters was there. Straight shot, you can't stop her. Kaya, number 18 for Oberlin. Zeynep Kaya, you have been phenomenal. More movement as Meston is there. Lewis sets up Parks. Geiger was there for Parks. Kaya tries to make one happen. Meston sets up Miller. Miller right at Geiger. Setter dump, didn't happen. Lewis shoves it over. Setting up backwards into the block. And a little bit of miscommunication from Oberlin. Ends with a point for the Hornets. And everybody on that Oberlin bench is highly invested. So much effort on both sides as Miller sends this one over. Archibald with a nice dive. Meston able to get there. Setting up Diller. Diller right at Geiger. Peters to Lewis. Casper tries to end it, now with Archibald there. And this one goes wide for Kaya. And you seen Kaya kind of just tap her chest after that one. She knew it was going to go wide. And she knew that it was going to go wide, so she knew she just needed to kind of take a moment and realize what's going to happen here as both sides switch. And they continue for this fifth set. Timeout called for Oberlin, and both teams take a huddle. You got a minute to catch your breath, but don't go anywhere. Neither team can let this one go on for too long. You only got to get to 15. Miller, good setup here for Kaya, but into the block. Point Hornets. Oberlin staying real tight, still playing very clean, as they got to make sure this gap doesn't get too wide. Miller with an ace, and that's going to help a little bit. And you can feel the energy as another timeout is called by Oberlin College. And I'll take you what I think needs to happen for success here on either side. Oberlin has been playing so great tonight. Just the way that they have mixed up shots, you have to take into account their short bench. They don't have a lot of fresh legs that they can go to if they need to, so they're playing and they're handling the cards that they were dealt with very well. Probably far better than most teams can handle here. Again, Archibald tonight, as their libero, has been doing a phenomenal job. Really, everybody on their lineup has done a great job doing their job tonight. So if they want to take, I feel like they got to attack that middle for the Hornets a little bit more. That tends to be the Hornets' weak spot for the Hornets is that kind of that middle section. So if they can get a couple plays into that area, then they might be able to close up this gap and make this a little bit more interesting. For the Hornets, continue doing what you're doing. Everything that the Hornets is doing right now is playing up for success. So it's just how both teams can respond. As Miller sets it off with another ace. Brittany Ace Miller, are you serious? On the day of your senior night, you make it known the impact that you have on this team. Miller again. Miller again. Miller all across your stat sheet. Brittany Ace Miller, your 4 years. This moment for Brittany Miller pretty much sums up the success that she's had. As Archibald gets it over. And that one goes into the block. A good point there by Oberlin as they try to close the gap. Trying to respond, but this one goes wide and long. Unfortunate for Zeynep Kaya. as they get closer and closer. Parks now at the line of service. Archibald did her job well. Setting up that middle, met with the block. Setting up that outside now. Geiger with no success. Dillard now gets a deflection, but Geiger was in that back row, Kaya, as Peters tries to make it happen. Parks took a dive. Dillard sends it over. Setting up backwards now. Parks with the diving attempt. And now this one's going to end in a point for Oberlin. They bring back on Alira Allen. Oberlin trying to keep this one going. They got to close the gap. Welton, Dillard was there. Lewis backwards to Casper. And this one's long from Casper. So ever so slowly, Oberlin slowly starts to close that gap. And this one's handled pretty cleanly as Casper kind of just shoves it over. Setting up to that outside. Geiger with no luck. Dillard now with an attempt of her own. Peters gets there, but some miscommunication, and that ends in a point for the Hornets. The Hornets sitting at 14 points. They need one more to close out the game. Josie Cook on the floor. Brittany Miller on the court. Rachel Meston on the court, and Goddard sends it over. Archibald sends it. Goddard sets up Beckler. Close to dropping. Meston with an over-the-hand save. Dillard tries to end it, and she will. Quanice Dillard to close out the match. Her night has been phenomenal. And just how she started it, she closed it out. The Hornets take the match, but not without a fight from Oberlin College as they close out the fifth set, 15-8. And now I give you a moment to sit in what you just witnessed. Possibly one of the best games of the season in terms of momentum, in terms of what you're playing for. We ask you to stay on stream as the senior Hornets will get honored individually. But before that happens, I want to run you through all of just how we got there. Someone play The Climb by Miley Cyrus, because that's what this game is giving. It was set 1, 25-16. Oberlin takes the first set. Set 2, 19-25 for Kalamazoo. Set 3, 22-25 for Kalamazoo. And then fourth set, it was 25-22 for Oberlin. And then we got to where we are now, the fifth set, 15-8. Whew, catch your breath. For your leaders, Kaya doing such a phenomenal job for Oberlin today with 16 kills. Geiger not too far behind her with 15 of her own. And then Peters sitting at 9. For the Hornets, you have Brittany Miller with 14, the senior tonight. And Quanice Dillard with 10 of her own. A phenomenal game for the freshman. Ava Beckler got on the court today. Haven't seen a lot of her this season. Well, let it be known that you will see more of her in the future. She had 9 kills of her own. Casper right behind her with 8. In terms of service aces, Brittany Ace Miller making her name known on the stat sheet. She had 5 of her own. Meston followed behind her with 2. Goddard with 2. And Maya Parks, another freshman playing so well tonight with 2. So much to circle, so much to highlight. I mean, I could go on in individual stats. Oberlin, I mean, phenomenal game for both sides, the effort from both sides. I want to close it out now to give time for the senior ceremony. Again, your Hornets take this one 3-2 over Oberlin College. And we're just waiting for the senior ceremony to start, so don't go anywhere. My name's Maya Pasillas. I was your broadcaster for tonight. I hope you had such a great time as I did. I'll see you in the next one. Again, don't go anywhere. It is the senior ceremony.
Out and recognize the seniors for Kalamazoo College. We want to recognize all four of them. We're going to have them come out. First out for your Hornets is senior number 4, defensive specialist in libero, Rachel Meston. Rachel is accompanied out by her mom, Stephanie, and her brothers, Max and Joseph. Rachel is from East Grand Rapids, Michigan, at East Grand Rapids High School. Academically, Rachel is a math and psychology double major and studied abroad in Madrid, Spain in the spring of her junior year. This summer, Rachel completed an internship for her senior individualized project that examined how emotional regulation in children influences their learning and performance in mathematics and how teachers can respond to support their learning. After graduation, Rachel is considering going back to Madrid for a year-long teaching program, then coming back to the U.S. to pursue a master's degree with the goal of becoming a teacher. Over the years, Rachel has earned multiple MIAA academic honor roll recognitions, as well as a career-high 35 digs against the College of Worcester in September 2024. Currently, Rachel is averaging 4.81 digs per set with 404 digs and counting this season alone. When asked what she will miss most about her team, Rachel said, the friend, family, aka family atmosphere, and overall getting to do the things she loves with the people that she loves. Ladies and gentlemen, senior number 4, Rachel Meston. Our next Hornet senior is number 6, pin hitter Tatum Casper. Tatum is accompanied out by her parents Angie and Jim, her brother Jimmy, and sister-in-law Catherine. Tatum is from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, and attended Marion High School. Academically, Tatum spent her time studying and majoring in psychology. Tatum successfully completed her SIP this summer based on her internship experience at a therapy practice in which she was able to shadow therapy sessions and work with children and their parents. After graduation, Tatum is planning to pursue a master's degree in order to become a therapist. Although Tatum's time as part of the volleyball program was shorter than most, it was incredibly impactful as she held the starting spot on the roster for the majority of her time at K. She has been recognized as all-team tournament, as well as hitting over 400 in multiple matches, with a career-high 17 kills earlier this season against Kenyon College. When asked what she would miss most about the program, Tatum says she's going to miss everything about this team. She will miss being with her friends and working hard with them every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, senior number 6, Tatum Casper. Next up for your Hornets is number 11, pin hitter Josie Cook. Josie is accompanied by her parents, Kim and Jeff, and her siblings, Riley and Jesse. Josie is from North Muskegon, Michigan, and North Muskegon High School. Academically, Josie is a biology major with a psychology minor and studied abroad for 3 months in Madrid, Spain. Josie successfully completed her SIP this summer, titled A Comparative Analysis of Physician Assistants in Primary and Urgent Care, for which she shadowed PAs and investigated their patient interactions, communication styles, and mental health care. After graduation, Josie is hoping to attend school to become a physician's assistant. Josie was a member of the MIAA Academic honor roll, as well as being third on the team in blocks and aces in the 24-25 season. And she also had a career-high 13 kills against Geneva College. When asked what she will miss most about the team, Josie said the relationships. This program gave me some of my best friends, and I'm so lucky to have gotten to play with and be with them every day on and off the court. Ladies and gentlemen, senior number 11, Josie York. Last but certainly not least for your Hornets, seniors, is number 19, pin hitter Brittany Miller. Brittany is accompanied by her parents, David and Cassie, and her sister, Abby. Brittany is from Lombard, Illinois, and attended Glenbard South High School. Academically, Brittany majored in biochemistry and spent her study abroad in Madrid, Spain for her junior year. Brittany is currently working on her SIP, for which she is researching the strategic synthesis of trifunctional activity-based probes for enhanced tumor detection. After graduation, Brittany looks to further her education and pursue pharmacy school. Brittany was a crucial part of this Hornet lineup throughout her time at Kane, earning multiple all-tournament team recognitions, CSC Academic All-District Team, MIAA Academic Honor Roll, and leading the team in kills, aces, and points in multiple seasons. When asked what she will miss most, Brittany says she will miss line dancing with the team before every home game and all the amazing teammates and friends she's gotten to play with over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, senior number 19,